Your Excellency, sir, the PCF board led by the Chairman Katongole will acknowledge for your strategic guidance. Sir, the board is appointed strategically, as you mentioned, to be a science-led board. And as such, you appointed Professor Kwesiga and Mr. Musasizi of Kira Motors to join this board. This board, Your Excellency, all they dream about is Uganda first. And they serve above self. I would want that you clap for them. Sir, in my conclusion, special appreciation and gratitude is extended to the Right Honourable Prime Minister, as you ably directed her. Every time we seek for any interface with her, she guides us and she gives us guidance on how best we can speak to the resolutions that have already been presented to you. These resolutions are always presented through the PSST who faces the fire, but he makes sure that everything aligns with your strategic vision, Your Excellency. To you, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, first of all, happy birthday to you. We know it's a season for happy birthday. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni wants to thank you for providing us a platform and an opportunity to serve you, sir, but above all, to serve our country. Thank you for the fatherly heart, your visionary leadership in assuring that the national is given a strategy in terms of how best we can prosper. Various economic interventions have been set by the various MDAs and government ministries, and you always take your time to ensure that you're part of these economic interventions. And so on behalf of everyone, especially the team from West Nile, Acholi, Lango, and Karamojong, please stand and clap for the President. They can't wait, Your Excellency, to listen to you. So I am more than pleased and proud to compliment the initiatives, Your Excellency, that you have provided through government that drive the national development agenda, as well as shaping the nation for good and my country. Thank you so much.
Let's give Irene a better clap. Your Excellency, allow me now invite Mr. Katongole Emmanuel, the Chairman Board of the Presidential CEO Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome him. Emmanuel, you're most welcome.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, today is a very special day for us, business leaders, captains of industry and business. In my language, we call today a kasiki. A kasiki when a peacemaker was born. A kasiki when a liberator was born. A kasiki when a gentleman who loves progress was born. And for that matter, I request all colleagues, brothers and sisters here to stand up and we sing happy birthday to His Excellency the President. May I invite my sister, Mkunja girl. She knows she has a better voice than me. Please, it's a great day. We should all be happy. Mzee is turning 80 and he's still very strong. Okay, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mzee. Happy birthday to you. Mzee, we love you. We wish you many, many, many more years of progress. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, honorable ministers, honorable members of Parliament, captains of business and industry, distinguished guests, particularly the majority here who are from northern Uganda, the area we love so much. And all of you, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, thank you. Thank you for being a great friend and a great lover of the people of northern Uganda. Thank you for turning northern Uganda from a relatively behind area and today becoming the most progressive part of Uganda. In the last 3 days, we've had this forum and focused on northern Uganda. Before I give my remarks, my name is Emmanuel Katongole. You know me, Your Excellency. You've given me various assignments, such as chairman, the first chairman of Uganda National Oil Company. You gave me the assignments of being the chairman of the National COVID Task Force Fund. You have not disbanded it for reasons you know, and a few others. I'll first invite 3 or 4 people from northern Uganda who will give a minute or 2 of recap of their feeling of their region. I'll start with Grace Kalimundu. Kalimundu, please, Grace, you've got 1 minute or so to do that. Of Polar Farms in Abbey.
Good afternoon, everyone. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, I observe protocol. I am called Grace Kermondo. My husband is called Kermondo Gilbert. Polar Mix Farm is a family venture which started in 2011 with only 4 acres of fruit and non-fruit trees, and then growing of legumes under these fruit trees. But because of interest of time, I don't want to elaborate on all that we have because it's a lot now. Because as I speak now, we have over 150 acres of non-fruit trees, over 30 acres of fruit trees. Your Excellency, I'm pleased to inform you that we are rearing goats. And only last month, we got 85 kid goats. My interest here is to tell our people that actually we can create wealth with agriculture in northern Uganda. Because I have been in this, when I left bank in 2015, I was already doing it at a small scale, but for the 10 years I have been in farming, I have sampled almost every crop that is grown in Uganda, and they have all been doing well. The only challenge is that I cannot do everything. I want to give example that after doing all this, we realized that we needed something now for our retirement, and we went into coffee. Last year, Your Excellency, in your visit of West Nile, I happened to be privileged that you went to my farm. And by that time, we had just planted coffee 5 days back. But I am pleased to inform you, Your Excellency, that today is the first day they are harvesting. We are picking the first cherries. I know someone is going to doubt, but you ask UCDA that when you follow their procedures, what happens to your coffee? The coffee is already fruiting, And up to today now, we have 90 acres of coffee already established. We are targeting to have 100 by next year. Your Excellency, this is a game changer in northern Uganda. Why? Because we have done the matrix. We are doing a coffee of 1,000 stem in an acre, but because of our terrain, we are looking at 800 stems in an acre. Now, when you do that calculation in terms of money, we are anticipating that at least from a tree, we are getting about 2 kgs, 2 kilograms. So meaning in an acre, we have about 1,600 kilograms. And when we look at the current price of coffee, for example, the parchment, it means that we are going to be fetching, because it is now going to about 13, we shall be fetching about 19.2 million from an acre. Your Excellency, because of time, they are pleased that we humbly placed before you when you came to the farm. As a family, we request that and humbly beg that you employ into that, because if at this current state we are employing over 100 people, what if now the government comes in to hold our hands? And Your Excellency, something happened that when you came, because no one has ever established that size of coffee, now they call it is your coffee. The burden is now, everyone is coming to me to give them seedlings, which I do not have the capacity. I implore that UCDA looks into that, because if now someone can prepare the land, they have the land, they're only asking for seedling. Why shouldn't we? I thank PCF for giving me this opportunity. There's a lot to see at Polamix Farm. Please come there.
Thank you, Grace. Oh, yes, these are yours. Thank you, Grace. Your Excellency, the next person I'm going to call upon, because of time, there is a microphone that end. We shall use that microphone. The next person is Honorable Professor Ogenga Latigo. Professor Ogenga Latigo, Your Excellency, is a very interesting man, because he's a politician, but when we are talking business and when we are talking of farming, when we are talking oil and gas, he forgets his political angle and he talks very good things about business. The only thing that he misses is a tie like mine, and I'm ready to give him this one.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Your Excellency, the President of Uganda, the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the ministers and members of Parliament present, I did not expect like this, because I was asked to make a presentation. Unfortunately, the programs got changed. In that presentation, Mr. President, I was asked to narrate my story in farming. And it is a long story, but I started farming because I grew up with a dad who was a teacher and later a shopkeeper, but would still pick oats and have crop fields and had many granaries at home. Had relatives come to go to school and was able to feed people. Secondly, as I joined Sir Samuel Baker and traveled parts of Acholi, I was able to see serious commercial farming in Acholi those days. Anania Akera on the way, Moroto Road, was the largest tobacco grower in the country as an individual. We went west of people like Alija Latim. We had farms of people like Wilson Nutara. He had the best dairy, beef herd in the region. And then PS, Andrew Adimola, had even a groundnut combine. But my big interest in joining farming came in 19 1979, I took a Uganda Airlines flight to Arua. And as we flew over Noya, that time it was Gulu district. As we flew over Noya and Amuro, I saw the beautiful grassland, no trees, and I said, one day I will farm here. Now, when I was ready to farm, after doing my PhD, you actually conferred my PhD on me in '89 in Makerere. So 1990, I got land in Katulukere because the LRA conflict was in Acholi. And I was neighbor to the late Imat Cecilia Ugwal. I grew maize then, and my stories were things that I wanted the farmers to see. I got land, there were trees, I didn't have money to uproot the trees. So I said, what do I do? I looked for people who wanted to burn charcoal. And I gave them all the trees, and I said, remove the trees, uproot them, burn the charcoal is yours. And I got my field cleared, and I started farming. When I was farming there, I was growing maize. I got a new cowpea variety from Naseko. That cowpea, I still grow it. You put it in fire, it cooks for 10 minutes, it is ready. And it was extremely nutritious. What we did at that time, we had people who had run from across Noya, and they were in Dwayale. We demonstrated. We went to the camps, the settlements. We demonstrated to them and said, grow this around your homes because it saves on fuel, it saves on time, and it feeds the kids. When after I joined Parliament, one time I went to Gulu, and we went to Tangi River in Noya. And I was able to buy land next to the late Erinayo Riema. I bought 800 acres. And that time they thought I was crazy because there was insecurity. But I said, the war will end. And when it ends, I will have land to farm. And at that time, because nobody was buying land, I bought it very cheaply. And I started my Tangi River farm. Now, two things which are experiences that I would like to share with you, Mr. President. One, I quickly noticed that when BBC says that there is a cyclone coming to Madagascar or the shores of Tanzania, 3-4 days later, in February, it will rain heavily in Noya. And so I decided I'm going to take advantage of these very early rains. And so I would plant my rice in February, harvest in May when there's no rice in the market and people won't sit. And that was my strategic approach to farming in Noya. The second
Professor,
one was...
please summarize.
Yes, please. The second was when I realized that Nsenene flies across Noya in the first and second week of November, and it was devastating rice. So I told people to adjust the planting, and they took it up. Eventually, I went back to Agago, and I started farming. And I wanted to tell the story because it is the issue of land which you, Your Excellency, knows. I've supported the initiative to get it used in Acholi. And the challenge that any farmer will go there are two things. The issue of land is too badly politicized in our place. And that politicization must end. The politicization should not be about ownership, but about use. If politicians show people how to use that land, we will not have a problem. The second is really for our people to understand that farming is not about money. Farming is about livelihood and about improving the lives of communities. And as I farm in Agago, there are many things. I have the presentation, which when shared with you, people will see. Challenges. But this year, because of climate change, the weaver birds which are migratory came too early. I lost a lot of my rice because the birds ate them. I had video projections of it, which I thought I would present. The other one is that when I was farming and was a member of the Pan-African Parliament, you talk to people and said, have you planted? They will say yes. What seed rate did you use? Well, we used 2 bags. You go and find they have not planted, they have not used the right seed rate. So farming, when you have other responsibilities, is a tough thing. And lastly, it is the challenge of financing agriculture. 2 years, we had bad seasons, we borrowed money, and you'll find that because the weather is bad and you projected your income on a certain quantity of yield, you don't get it. I beg that we find a day to talk about how we can support agricultural financing. PDM, as you have proposed, is good. But I can tell you, Mr. President, that the people in the districts will give money not on the basis of competencies, but on the basis of whom they know or want to get that money. And unfortunately, sometimes you give a person who has been desperate for money 1 million shillings. I have a case in my place where the woman said she had waited in the bank and had not eaten. When she got money, she said, let me take a bit of wine. That bit of wine, she collapsed on the way. And the young people stole their money.
Thank you, Professor.
Let me say the final thing. Mr. President, sir, the 4-acre model is good. The skilling of the youth program is good. I went through it when I was being invited to make a presentation. I was actually writing a proposal because when I looked through the skilling program, there was no center, no skilling center that focused on training people. The young people we have now never grew up the way we grew up. They have to be trained to be farmers. And I had developed that proposal with the intention of submitting it to you because I have a piece of land behind Kalon Technical Institute, which last time you were supposed to come and open. And I would propose that we have a specific skilling center to train youth on intensive agriculture that fits into your 4-acre model. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor. As I said, he can be an extremely good gentleman. At least you've avoided politics. And I look forward to the day you'll walk along that path here. Right, Honorable Prime Minister loves it. It's a very nice one. It's yellow because it's a sign of peace and a sign of progress. Your Excellency, the next one will be Lillian Awooma. But Lillian, I beg you kindly that you start on the points, straight on. Protocol was recognized, just recognize His Excellency the President. Got your points, 1 minute, maximum 2.
His Excellency, you're mostly welcome. My name is Lillian Awooma Gwang of Loro Town Council, Western Wadi, Popong Cell, Oyam Districts. I emerge as a beacon of success in coffee farming through the support from Uganda Coffee Development Authority, that is UCDA. His Excellency, my journey from maize production to become a successful coffee farmer is a testament to the transformational impact of information decision-making through the strategic support. His Excellency, in 2019-2020, I ventured into coffee farming with support from UCDA, establishing a 3-acre garden in Oyam district. I added 1 more acre, totaling to 4. I commenced harvesting coffee in January 2024 with an estimated harvest of over 700 kilograms, and the quality is expected to triple next year, 2025. His Excellency, my ambition now is to extend my coffee garden to 10 acres as a testament to my vision and confidence in coffee farming. Other farmers have also started practicing coffee due to our continuous combination sensitization efforts, since this coffee was not traditionally practicing in our region. Despite the achievement, I still face challenges tropical of agriculture venture, such as pest and disease management, propelled drought, occasional of land for expansion and value addition processes. However, Loro Coffee Growers Cooperative Society Limited, the one I belong to as a member, is taking steps toward establishing a coffee store and milling plant, although power sources remains a major concern. His Excellency, long live the government of the Republic of Uganda, long live the President of the Republic of Uganda, long live Uganda Coffee Development Authority, long live all the coffee farmers for God and my country.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Lillian. That was awesome, thank you. The next one is a young man by the names of Odong Mac. And Odong Mac, I know you're a young man, you can do this in 1 minute, like Lillian has done.
Protocol observed. My name is Odong Macfat, a 26-year-old Ugandan from Nwar district. Because of time, I just want to be brief and go straight to my testimonial. My journey has not been an easy journey from the time, just like in other orphans. I graduated in 2014 at the year of 17 years. So looking at that period of time, being a beneficiary of UPE, and I also benefited from a program of youth program, USE. So coming from the school, I was underage to get formal employment. I look at the situation because I also need money. I got and registered a company called Consult Agri-Credit Solutions. This company was simply to address a challenge I've realized within the community that I come from. One of it was inadequate knowledge and access of agricultural inputs. 2, the skills that is necessary to produce these agricultural goods was also a problem. And then 3, I've also realized gap in market. So my business came to address this challenge, where currently I am actually supplying the whole of Nwaya and Umoro district with quality agricultural inputs. As I speak now, I have 6 sales points where farmers come and get agricultural input from my shops. Besides that, I've also employed many youths who have also been graduated from different universities or tertiary institutions to come and also train different farmers on how they produce. What this initiative did do is, I am a vegetable farmer. I produce vegetable under contract farming with these farmers. When these farmers produce, I buy from them and I supply my different markets where I sell from in Arua, Gulu, Lira, and also part of Kampala here. Besides that, I've also realized there is a lot of challenges looking at the crops that I do as vegetable because they require a lot of pollinating agents as bees. I've installed currently, I have 600 beehives, 300 is already colonized, where I am selling honey, training farmers to produce. I also have other bee products from it. The major interest of this bee project is to make sure my watermelon, tomato are pollinated from this simple actually enterprise like bees, besides other enterprise. I also realized our nature of land getting a lot of erosion and also other land wastage where our farmers are cutting down trees. I introduced goat farming currently. I have 150 goats. These are exotic goats that produce fast. They also have a lot of weight. These goats, I use their manure to fertilize my actually tomato and then the vegetable I produce to produce for me the organic product I require for the markets I supply. So through this initiative, I have already been able to empower and employ a lot of youth directly through employment and also others that do transport business like border that carry this produce from my farm to different markets. Besides that, I have also been able to make sure that the farmers are also trained within my farm where I have irrigated currently because of the capacity. I have 5 acres of land that have installed drip system. This plot is to make sure I capacitate farmers' knowledge where farmers come and hire a plot of land. They produce through our contract farming. I buy from them and supply because we have a lot of challenge in droughts. That's why I thought of this initiative. And currently, as I talk, the program has already supported close to 10,000 farmers where they are enrolled and worked in the block farm where I work.
Smart 24, driving business.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda.
My Monday is Gaga, Tuesday is Gaga, Wednesday is Gaga, cause every day is a Gaga vibe. Yeah. Yeah. Cause every day is a Gaga vibe. My Thursday is Gaga, Friday Gaga, my weekend is Gaga, cause every day is a Gaga vibe. Yeah. Yeah. Cause every day is a Gaga vibe.
Gaga every day with MTN. Hit star 100 star 0 hash or use the My MTN app to load your favorite Gaga data bundle. Together, we're unstoppable. MTN.
3 inspired souls brought together by love are set on a life-changing journey.
This is your life, Mackenzie. This is no longer a dream.
It's just something about Mackenzie.
I'll never marry you.
Your position does not allow you to break work relationship rules.
Where choices change everything. Crossroads, weekdays at 8 p.m. on Power Magic Prime. DSTV channel 148, GoTV channel 303.
Tuli wano lero Divine College Wakiso okutusa obweyamu ew'omuwanguzi waffe owa school fees kubanga abadde akozesa pay with momo okusasula school fees za mwana we era awangudde school fees za term 3.
Nze nkolera Kagadi naye ekinnyanguyira okukozesa MTN momo olw'okubanga transport okuva Kagadi okujja eno Kampala $6,000 nga nyiga *165 *8 asi nakozesa MTN momo nga balance yali yasigaddeyo ne musasula kaakati nange nafuuse omuwanguzi mu MTN momo ndi musanyufu nnyo abe MTN otuddiza bazadde bannange mbakubiriza okozesa MTN momo kubanga MTN yesigika MTN mazima wanvu.
Together we're unstoppable. Smart 24, driving business.
Has engaged relevant ministries, departments, and agencies in pursuit of drive an agenda of advancing shared goals on socio-economic transformation led by Your Excellency the President. Here, I would like to recognize my fellow board members. Your daughter, Babla Mruana, finished her term, and she was not able to continue with another term, and I took over from her. Please, board members, stand up for recognition. I would like in particular to request 2 of them, Irene Birungi Mugisha and Dr. Ramadhani Gobi, to remain standing. That young lady, Irene, has been a great blessing to us. I've seen her work day and night, and you get to her in the middle of the night. At one time, I thought Mr. Mugisha would just finish me. He works and brings results. Irene, thank you. Dr. Ramadhani Gobi is one of the young captains you brought on. I can say on behalf of business leaders in this country that Ramadan has sanitized that ministry. He has changed it from a dealing ministry to a ministry that handles policy and implements policy, and we are proud of him. Thank you for bringing him there. Your Excellency, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, we are particularly encouraged by government's commitment to implementing the resolutions from our previous forums. Over 90% of these policy recommendations have been adopted and budgetary provisions have been made to support their implementation. Your Excellency, let me highlight some of the key achievements. To date, we have held 4 biennial CEO forums with Your Excellency as the chief host, and these have generated 49 resolutions that were summarized into 27 resolutions and adopted by government as a live document incorporated in NDP 4 framework as program action plans, which means that they will be followed up with a clear course of monitoring funds allocation. Government has appreciated the need of alternative financing, and this financial year 2024-2025 budget, under Income Tax Act, capital gains arising from the sale of holdings with private equity and venture capital funds regulated by Capital Markets Authority was exempted. This was Your Excellency's directive when you invited us at your home in Irenga and Tungamo district, and we thank you for that. During the 4th biennial retreat, Your Excellency, hosted at Kira Motors in Jinja, we had resolutions to ease cost of doing business for the e-mobility industry through policies. This was achieved in the financial year 2024-2025 budget through VAT exemptions on supply of electric motorcycles and vehicles manufactured or fabricated in Uganda, together with their respective charging stations and batteries. This is another big achievement under your directive, Your Excellency, and we thank you. All these are testament of Your Excellency's strategic leadership. While we have made significant progress, we still have work to be done, including following up on implementation of the remaining resolutions and addressing the challenges that may arise. We are confident that the resolutions of this 5th biennial forum, which concentrates on northern Uganda, will also contribute significantly to the wealth creation and development of northern Uganda and the nation at large. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, since yesterday, we have held meaningful discussions on the theme and made resolutions which were presented to the Right Honorable Prime Minister to bring to your attention, Your Excellency's attention. Northern Uganda region is rich in natural resources and cultural heritage, but has faced significant economic challenges due to historical conflicts. However, recent developments show a positive trajectory with increasing investments, infrastructure investments, and growth in key sectors. Government strategic investments in the region, such as support to Atiak Sugar Factory, Yumbe Fruit Factory, Bukona Agro Processors, the coffee factory in Lolo, Oyam District, the magnificent Glue Logistics Hub, the cotton ginnery in Pajuli Padel District, and various agro-processing facilities will be catalysts for economic growth and development in the northern part of Uganda. Benchmarking visits were carried out by our team led by Mr. Deo Kayemba, who is the chairman of Uganda Manufacturers Association. And we concluded that it is important to focus on commercial production for agro-industrialization. Therefore, the bulk of resolutions for this biennial Presidential CEO Forum meeting today highlights the priorities for action. Important though, while northern Uganda can be transformed into the country's agro-processing and logistic hub, this requires deliberate strategic support over the next 3 years to 5 years across key stages of the value chain. In conclusion, Your Excellency, I want to share with the people of northern Uganda a very short testimony about how your interventions have changed lives, and I'll give myself as an example. In 1986, you graduated us as your first graduates in Makerere University. I was with Deo Kayemba, who is now the chairman of Uganda Manufacturers Association. In your address, you told us not to look for government jobs. You told us to go out and create our own jobs. We saw a young leader and were a young, dynamic men. We took your word. I remember taking buses on Fridays evening from Malaba to Nairobi, buying a few goods in a bag and packing them on our heads and bringing them to venture in Kampala streets. I had lost my parents. Later, my 3 sisters, my only sisters, died because of HIV/AIDS. I took a personal decision that I should concentrate on pharmaceuticals. I started a small shop in Katwe. We started buying medicines. Until one time I thought it was time to start manufacturing because of your policy of ABCD on HIV/AIDS. I wrote to you. I was nothing. I only saw you on political rallies and on TV. You responded to my letter and you called me to State House. When I came, I was extremely timid. You looked at me. Actually, I almost sussed in my trouser. But the meeting took about 5 minutes. You asked me what my problems were. I told you that I wanted to manufacture ARVs and SCTs after telling you my story. In 5 minutes, you said, I asked you, and I told you I had technology. You told me, and I told you I didn't have money. You told me that, young man, go ahead, if you can do this, I'll give you a letter of support and you should be able to raise money. You gave me that letter and Barclays Bank gave me $18 million based on your letter. I needed $33 million. I went to CIPLA. When they saw your letter and the letter from Barclays, they lent me $5 million. And they gave me machines on loan for $5 million. You came and we started a factory after giving us land in Luzira. You came and inspected that land. And as we were building. But I was very surprised that the $28 million we had mobilized were not enough. Again, I wrote to you. You invited us, and this is very dear to me. I'll never forget it. You invited us very late at night, after midnight. I found a group of ministers led by the late Prime Minister, Apollon Sibambi. May his soul rest in peace. You explained to him what we wanted to do. You stayed on the table and you told him to lead the meeting. I'll never forget that actually one by one attacked us that we were trying to do something that nobody else has ever done. Thank God you remained there, and I actually thought you were sleeping. But all of a sudden, when I told them that I was implementing your policy of eliminating HIV/AIDS in this country, you got up and fired questions to them, and you said, no, you go and look for the money. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from you that gave us a loan of $5 million without interest. We finished the factory. You came and opened it. Today, Your Excellency, that factory has registrations for HIV and malaria medicines in 34 African countries. Today, we are major exporters of medicines on the African continent. 2 weeks ago, I went to Nairobi on a business trip. A taxi driver started talking the usual economics, how our country was. And he told me one thing I'll never forget. A taxi driver in Nairobi told me that you're very lucky because your president, President Museveni, has got an eye that sees where others don't see. Your Excellency, thank you for having that eye. That eye has helped all these business leaders to do what we do. I'll finish, Your Excellency. I think I'll be very unfair if I don't show you your Bazukulu. I've got to a son and a daughter here who are your admirers. Nicholas and Jacqueline, just run here. This young boy is my firstborn. He went into some of the best universities in the world. I told him to come and work with me, and he said, no, I'll do what the president told you to do. He has set up an electronics company that can now detect diseases in animals, and it is an app. And that is how you've trained your Bazukulu. Jackie, I don't see her. She finished her MBA at Imperial College in London. I gave her a job in quality chemicals, and she said, no, I want to be an exporter. And she now exports produce from all over Uganda. Young girl of 24 years. Those are the people you've trained. Thank you, Excellency. And Mukunja girl, come very fast. As Dr. Ramadan also comes, Dr. Ramadan will give the resolutions of this biannual meeting, and this Mukunja girl is going to share in 1 minute her experience as a board member here. Please, very, very fast.
Your Excellency, my name is Ruth B. Nzika Aisha Kasolo, and I'm a member of the board of the PCF. Normally, whenever we meet, Your Excellency, we have asks, and I don't know why you normally accept my asks. So I have just a few general asks. One of them is, Your Excellency, I want you to change the tone. Why would you change the tone? Because I've been in a number of meetings where everybody is asking you, is asking for this, we want this, we want this. I want you to change the tone. From today, if somebody asks something, you ask them, what do you bring on the national table? Why? Because we give budgets to many local governments. They get a lot of money, but a number of times they don't care to see what they are contributing to the national budget. We have the Prime Minister here, we have the PSST here, and I think that for me, generally, whenever somebody is asking something from the President, they should show us what that district is contributing to the national table. And I think that even the performance of the RDCs, the performance of the cows, the Prime Minister is here, these people should be able to supervise wealth creational programs, but also tell us what is coming from there, because the government has now invested a lot of resources in that particular area. Your Excellency, lastly, you said you provided resources through UDC for the mango factory in Yombe. This factory, I think the ED of UDC is here, and Professor Chamuhanjire, it's now ready. It's ready. This season, this factory is ready. And we want to ensure that you can launch this factory, but also we want to ensure that research, I think they talked about it. The issue is that when it is launched, the mangoes will not even be enough. And I think that is something that we need to ensure that more resources are put into that. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Dr. Ramadan Gobi will give a quick recap of the resolutions, but on a personal note, to let Your Excellency that the $5 million you lent me, I paid back to the Ministry of Finance, and that is very great because some people you give money do not pay back.
Your Excellency, Your Excellency, I will be very brief. The meeting, the 5th meeting for Northern Uganda has made 13 resolutions, and I will summarize them. The first one is that the Greater North makes its fair contribution to the country's 10-fold growth strategy with the full monetization and formalization of the economy, value addition and export, focus based on agro-industrialization, tourism development, mineral-based development, including oil and gas, and STI, including ICT, as well as the culture and creatives. Number two, that the ongoing work to develop a sub-regional specific plan for the Karamoja, as directed by Cabinet, is also applied to other 3 sub-regions of West Nile, Acholi, and Lango. Number 3, that key constraints to private investments unique to the region, including the low level of registered land and prolonged drought, among others, are accorded special status in public investment management. Number 4, that the livestock economy is an integral opportunity for the Greater North and should develop alongside the following mass line value chains: coffee, cassava, oilseeds, shea, cashew nuts, and grains. Number 5, that fast track the operationalization of the Gulu logistical hub, a designated facility to facilitate transportation, collection, separation, consolidation, and distribution of goods for the national and international transit on a commercial basis. And specifically here, they resolved that support should target speeding up the completion of the rehabilitation of the Tororo Gulu Pakwach Railway, and to expand storage capacities and facilities. Number 6, to address the issue of high cost of inputs and the infiltration of counterfeits, they resolved that we prioritize funding of Naro and Nagrik, as well as Nakori for coffee, for research in high-yielding pest disease tolerant varieties, for fruits, coffee, grains, cereals, soybean, and livestock. And also ensure timely provision of free inputs, in particular the seed planting materials. Number 7, to increase production, that we increase access to mechanization through availing appropriate technologies at affordable rates. And to ensure water availability and mitigate the impact of prolonged drought in northern Uganda, water dams, reservoirs should be constructed where they don't exist and desilted in other cases where they already exist. Number 8, they also resolved to revamp Achwa cattle ranch to boost the cattle economy in the region as part of the National Cattle Corridor, and to designate zones, corridors, and land parcels for ranching of livestock to allow the growth of plants for commercial purposes, and also to operationalize the customary land registry for northern Uganda as provided for in the Land Act, and also fast track the process of registering communal land in northern Uganda. Number 9, to improve post-harvest handling and marketing of agricultural produce, provide funding for establishment of rural bulk markets at sub-county level with the post-harvest facilities, among other things there. Number 10, in line with the coffee roadmap that envisages an increase to 20 million bags of coffee, with northern Uganda as a new coffee frontier, we develop a value chain approach for the development of the coffee sector, right from mobilizing farmers to factory, by providing quality disease-resistant seedlings, post-harvest handling, value addition, processing, and export markets. Number 11, to attract FDI and diaspora investments in manufacturing to Greater North, there is a need to designate special zones, economic zones, initially starting with the Gulu, while promoting the establishment of public and private industrial parks and free zones. And 12, that government should undertake informed strategic investments in value addition along prioritized value chains, particularly large-scale agro-processing industries, which have the potential to be competitive at regional as well as international levels. And lastly, Your Excellency, that government should provide enabling infrastructure to production and value addition centers, including roads, electricity, as well as prioritized value chains, providing machinery for them. I submit, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Mr. PSST. Your Excellency, allow me now invite the Honorable Dr. Kenneth Omona, Minister of State in charge Northern Uganda, to come and make few remarks and invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business in Parliament to talk to us. Let's put our hands together and welcome Dr. Omona.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, colleague ministers, honorable members of Parliament, leaders from the various MDAs, the captains, or the chairman saying I should wait. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I would advise His Excellency should be listening from. I want to thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, and all of you distinguished participants for having spared all this time here since yesterday. Your Excellency, the Northern Uganda we are talking about, if you looked at Northern Uganda now, and compared it to what Northern Uganda was about 20 years ago, I think all of us here will agree that the government of the National Resistance Movement has done a lot to change that place from the war-torn area that it was to a place that we are now talking about as a place of opportunities for various different forms of investments. And for this, we want to thank the government very, very much for this effort. Your Excellency, Mr. President, allow me to join the rest of the country and the entire world who are very excited to join you in celebrating your 80 years of life in this world. A life that you have lived productively, a life that you have lived with great commitment, not only to this country, Uganda, but, Your Excellency, you remain committed to Africa as a whole. We want to thank you and thank God for keeping you alive in all these 80 years, and we keep praying that the Almighty God gives you many, many more years full of good health, happiness, and commitment to our country and to our continent. Your Excellency, what has been discussed here since yesterday is not new from what you have told this country for all these years. They are just unpacking and trying to expand the message that we have preached to this country for very many years. And Your Excellency, when you talk about agro-industrialization, transformation and development of the country, we cannot talk about this without thinking about the masses of the people. And Your Excellency, all this we are talking about are actually expanding what you have given the country, and you have called it the 4-acre model, which you wrote in your book, which talks about 7 ways and 4 sectors for wealth and job creation. That I have almost made like my bubble. I think I have just forgotten it in the car. I normally carry where I speak to the people and wave that book and encourage each and every one of us here to read that book. Your Excellency, a summary of resolutions here has been given, as you've heard. The most important thing, Your Excellency, that now awaits, that now remains, is tasking all of us here, leaders in our various capacities, in government, the religious leaders, the cultural institutions, to avail ourselves and mobilize the population and the country for production. Your Excellency, I could have forgotten many things you have told me, but one thing I've not forgotten is one time when we went up country, and I told you that, Mzee, we have spent here many days now. Let's go back to Kampala because there's a work to do there. You told me, Omona, let's first, I don't want to hurry to Kampala. I have a lot of work to do here. Let's first deal with the issue of poverty and wealth creation. The things we are talking about, those are things of those who have full stomachs, who are satisfied. That you said was called in Nyankole as a very good say. So he told me, Omona, if you have a very good say, let's first handle the issues, the matters of wealth creation for our people who are poor. It is this, Your Excellency, that I've taken very seriously in the case of Northern Uganda. And I want to urge everybody to take on this mobilization very seriously. And this is what all of us here now awaits to do. Your Excellency, one thing which I want to emphasize in Northern Uganda is, if it is possible, establishment of centers that can give help to the farmers. I thank you. When you appointed me, you told me to visit and see if we can expand your demonstration farm in Baralegi so that we can use it to provide assistance to the farmers. And this is what we'll want to do in all the areas of Northern Uganda. And I also want to assure you, Your Excellency, that there's no yearning for commodities that bring money. And Your Excellency, I have caused a problem in Northern Uganda because in many places where we have gone to meet, I have told the people there that this coming election, they should not vote any leader who is not going to tell them anything about wealth creation. And thank you very much. And Your Excellency, this trap awaits you also. But I'm very confident because in every gathering that you have spoken, you have always told the people about wealth creation. Let me call upon the entire country and those interested in investing in Northern Uganda that this is a potential place now. We have peace and stability, and we await you. And to the people of Northern Uganda, I want to say, the war is over. Tumekucha. And borrowing from one American poet, Walt Whitman, who said, keep your faces towards the direction of sunshine, and the shadows will fall behind you. I want to thank you very much, Your Excellency, for coming, and I take now this opportunity to invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister to speak to you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, honorable ministers, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, I had an interaction with you yesterday, and so I don't want to waste more time. Your Excellency, it is my honor now to invite you to speak to the people.
Oh, thank you. Sit down. Bepping, bepping. Kopango. Ilio Mabel. Mata Karamajong. Ingonia. Ebinyera, they are not here. The Madis. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, the ministers, all the other leaders, the leaders of industry and business, and all the invited people. In order for business to succeed, you must solve a number of strategic issues. Strategic issues are issues which affect the whole situation, from A to Z. Now, the strategic issues in Uganda and in the north, one of them was security. Because that one, whatever you do, you couldn't do anything if you don't have peace. And insecurity was by three groups. There were groups which were destabilizing West Nile from South Sudan and Congo. Those were dealt with. Then you had the groups destabilizing Acholi mainly Coin and Lakwena. Those were dealt with. And then in the northeast, we had the Karamojong disturbing themselves and disturbing others. And that one also we have ended, we have stopped it. So the whole area, that issue of security is now handled. Because that is a strategic bottleneck. If you don't handle it, what else can you do? What can people do? Now, the second strategic issue is the one we are still dealing with. This is the issue of the full monetization of the economy. The economy of Uganda, and I think the economies of other African countries, have never been fully monetized since the colonial times. I think by 1969, when we had the census, before the coming in of Idi Amin, I think only 4% of the people, of the homesteads, were in the money economy. You can check those figures. I tried to check, but I think I got the figure of only 4%, 1969. 7 years after independence, only 4% of the people were in the money economy. Then Amin came in, and that's modern economy collapsed. Because they were calling that economy of colonialism and independence, the economy of the 3 C's, the 3 C's meaning cotton, coffee, and copper, and the 3 T's, tobacco, tourism, and tea. You had Professor Gwenga Latigo talking about Akera, how he was growing tobacco. So that small economy, this is the one that was accounting for the 4%, I think, of the people. The three C's and the 3 T's. But when Amin came in, much of that small economy collapsed. Therefore, by 1986, we didn't have the figures, what percentage of the population were in the money economy. But when we came to check later, in the census of the first census, when I started noticing it, it was 2013. That's when I again checked and found that only 32% of the people of the homesteads were in the money economy. I think you can check the figures of the census of 1991 and then the one of, there was another census there, and then this one of 2011. That's when I saw the danger again. And at that time, it was only 38% of the people of the homesteads are in the money economy. The others are people of teach, meik, keken. We say in our language, achori, and maybe language also. People who only work for the stomach. And that's when I involved the Operation Wealth Creation. I involved the army to say, you go and take seedlings to these people. And when we checked 2 years ago, apparently the intervention of the army had effect, and the people who are still outside the money, the figure in 2013 was 68% of the homesteads were outside the money economy. They were Nino, asleep, not part of the money economy at all. Only 32% were. When we checked about 2 years ago, the figures showed that 61% of the homesteads have now gone into the money economy. It is only 39% that we are still out. So I will check the latest figures. What are they saying? Now, that is a strategic bottleneck. It is a strategic bottleneck for two reasons. Number one, you don't get a lot of raw materials, because now you can see the production of coffee has gone up to 9 million bags from 2 million bags. And why? Because more people have got involved in producing for the market. So if some people are abstaining, it means you have got less raw materials for industry, for processing. But secondly, there's another problem, the purchasing power. Because when I produce something and I sell, I get money. And because I have money, I'm able to buy other things. So the purchasing power of the population goes up. I am a milk producer, but you Ugandans, you are not supporting me enough. According to the WHO, a person to be fine and still have all his teeth in his mouth, like I have now at 80. I haven't lost any of my teeth. They are still there. And my bones are still strong. You need to drink 210 liters of milk a year. The consumption should be 210 liters per capita. We are now having a problem quarreling with Kenya. Kenya is refusing to take our milk. We are now fighting with them. We are fighting with Kenya about the eggs. The eggs, we are producing eggs. The internal market is not enough. We are fighting with Kenya about maize. producing a lot of maize. Kenya is not, the internal market is not enough, and our Kenyan friends are putting obstacles. But if you look at the milk, for instance, the production is now 5.3 billion liters. The consumption within the country is only 800 million liters. We therefore have a surplus of more than 4 billion liters. But this surplus is artificial because we are now a population of 46 million. If each one was consuming 210 liters a year, we would actually be having a deficit. We would need to produce 9-something billion liters to satisfy the internal market. So when you have got people who are just staying outside the money economy, they sabotage the economy in two ways. First of all, they don't contribute, like what the Mukunja was saying. First, they don't contribute. But secondly, they don't buy. So we who produce don't have enough buyers. And you can take the same chivaro, same chura of the milk. You are now sabotaging the milk because you don't buy enough milk. But you can take the chura, the chivaro, to, let's say, textiles. A population of 46 million. Each person needs about 5 meters per person. So if you multiply 46 million by 5 meters of textile, how much textiles do you need? So you can go on point by point by point. So this issue of everybody getting involved in the money market is a strategic one. Not only to get rid of poverty, but to produce more raw materials, but also increase the purchasing power of the population. So that one there is still not implemented. Then electricity. Electricity we have done well now, because that is the other crucial element for the economy, especially for the factories. We now have what you call surplus power of more than 1,000 megawatts. But I'm not resting because I know that surplus is temporary. It is because the Ugandans are nino, asleep. When they wake up, it will not be enough. Uganda needs much more electricity. We estimate 52,000 megawatts. That's what Uganda needs. We are now at 2,000 something megawatts. This is nothing. So we are continuing. We shall not lose time. We shall continue to build more dams, more dams, more dams, solar power. So that one we are moving well. And our target is to give the manufacturers a price of 5 American cents per kilowatt hour. I think some have started getting it, or getting near there. You can get the briefing from the people concerned. Now the roads have improved because what Professor Benga Datigo is talking, in 1968, when I toured that area when I was a student leader, there was not, the only tarmac road was ending in Gulu. That time they had built the tarmac road up to Gulu. But I went all the way to Moyo, the road was not tarmac, Koboko, Arua. Coming back, I came through Anaka, where he's talking of those ranches of Alexander Latim and others. It was all Maram Road, all the way up to Karuma. But now, the whole place is tarmac, all the way up to Oraba, on the Western Nile side, up to Nimle. I think we are working on the one of Ajumani, Laropi, Moyo. Then the one of Oruyo, Guru, Kitugum, Musingo. Then even the one of Soroti, Lira, was not tarmac. It was NRM which tarmac that road, from Soroti to Dokolo to Lira. So the issue of the infrastructure, I'm not really persuaded, because let the people near the tarmac road be out of poverty. Then we shall say, the other ones are still having problems because they are away from the tarmac road. But the one near the tarmac road is with Chan Tiekan, and Yo Maber Tiokan. So a good road is here, but poverty is also their neighbors. So how can you now talk about infrastructure? And in any case, some of the products don't need a tarmac road. Even if I am 20 miles away, 40 miles away from a tarmac road, if I've got my pigs and I put them on a pickup, they are not going to strike. Say, no, we are not going to the market because there's no tarmac road. That's really, I just need a good Maram road to take my product to the market. When I bought land in Chisozi, 1990, there was no road there. I left the tarmac roads in Masaka Mbara Road, Kampala Mbara Road. I left the tarmac road and went deep because I wanted land for cows. And cows don't eat tarmac, they eat grass. So I went deep in the village and bought good land. Now, much later, these Ugandans remembered to bring me tarmac, but I was already a rich man there. So please, the problem of these areas is political leadership. Leaders who are really enemies of their own people because of selfishness. So the roads really there are good enough. We had a problem with maintaining the Maram roads, but we have increased the money. When I was with Olanya in that our district there of Olanya, Omoro, he brought a good point that the 300 million they were saying was not enough per district. So we added another 1 billion. And you can see that if you spend a bit of that money on the roads, they will be good. Like the other year, there's when I went to West Nile, and there was a road from the Catholic parish. There's a Catholic parish somewhere where we landed and we drove a very nice Maram road. No, better than the roads of Kampala here. You can imagine a road in Obongi or our place there. Maram, better than some of these KCCA roads. So what we need are good Maram roads that can link us with the trunk tarmac roads. Then we have the money in UDB, money for manufacturers and for agriculture. I would invite people like Professor Gwenga Latigo, who have been very active, to tell me what the problem is. Why is Ojangore here? Our daughter, UDB. Is she here? Ojangore. She's not here. Who is from UDB? Because UDB should be, is that fellow from UDB the one who is standing up? Anybody from UDB, you see a president. If not,
Your Excellency, we don't see her here today. She was around yesterday, but she's not here today. Anybody from UDB, Uganda Development Bank, a representative?
No, I'm going to interrogate that group. Because they need to justify their existence. Because we are putting money there, money there, money there. Okay, they may not give everybody, but they should be able to prove that we had 1,000 applicants. We have covered 100. We covered them well. We could not cover the other 900. That one makes sense. But when you have covered nobody, everybody is crying. Then what are you for? So Ojangore would have to explain herself. I want her to show me how many people have benefited from. Because when Jesus was killed, my clan, the Wasita, were not there. But we heard about it later, that Jesus was killed, was buried, and he resurrected. So you find I'm also now a Christian. Because I heard of a success story, which happened. So where are the success stories of UDB? Because I am now a Christian, but I wasn't there when Jesus was being killed. But I heard about it, and I read about it. And here I am, son of Kaguta, I am also a Christian. So therefore, we need to audit. This one here, we have spent money. The other one of PDM, me, I'm not worried. The other woman in Agago who got drunk and they stole her money, those are casualties of life. Somebody told me that there was a king in Southern Africa whom they told that there are cannibals, people who eat people, on that mountain there. Should we go and kill them? He said, no, don't kill them. Send them cows. So they sent them cows, and they ate the cows, but they were still eating people. So they came and told the king that the
They ate the cows, but they also eat people still. So he said, no, you send them more cows. So they kept eating cows and people until they got tired and started only eating cows and stopped eating people. So I think my drunk supporters in Agago who lose money and so on, those will be there, but I think they will stabilize, they will learn. So the PDM will continue because PDM, because in the process we are also shedding a lot of skins. We arrest the people who steal their money, who take bribes, we arrest them. Very, very soon they will be tired. We shall run out of thieves before we run out of space in the prison. They will stop stealing the money. And we have calibrated it well. We have said the one who takes PDM money should not start paying until after 24 months. And he will pay simple interest, not compound interest. Just 10% on the 1 million after 24 months. That is 110 million. No, 1.1 million. And start paying and finishing 36 months. So that one we should not relax on that. It should become standard each year. We should add on money. We are putting each year 1 trillion. Each parish is getting 100 million. So by now we have like 300 million in a parish. Even the one whose money was stolen, she would have to get it from her relatives and pay it back. We shall send her to jail. So it will stabilize. So that one, for the smaller people, I think that one will be addressed. But the bigger people who want more money, which is not PDM, which is money for manufacturing, for big commercial agriculture. That's why Ojangore must really explain. And if the conference is not finished, call her and she tells you what the problem is. Now, on the strategic level, I am remaining with the two dates. One is the railway, because this economy of vehicles is very wasteful. As you can see, the road traffic jams, we are squandering a lot of money on fuel. Just you are in the car, the engine is running, you are not moving, the whole roads are full. Because people are richer, they have a lot of vehicles, but the roads are not enough distributed to distribute them. Like for instance, when I'm going to Jinja, I normally pass by Debakunja. I no longer fear Debakunja. I pass through Nkokonjeru. And there you don't see much traffic. The other time when I passed through Kayunga, I didn't also see much traffic. The problem comes from Mukono to here. That's where the problem is. But with the roads we are building around Kampala, I think to bypass Kampala, if you are going to the west, why do you have to come through Kampala? You can pass those Kira there. But still, the use of vehicles for cargo is not efficient. The real solution for cargo is the railway. The railway within Uganda, we are now repairing the meter gauge, but we are also very soon going to start the standard gauge to the sea, to the coast, so that we have got low costs of transport, low cost of electricity, low cost of transport. Now, the other strategic issue I'm remaining with is the irrigation. Irrigation. Somebody talked about it a bit here. That irrigation will transform this agriculture. Your person, Dr. Muranga, in her banana project in Ushenyi, we gave her government land and we supported her. She's irrigating there. She's now producing, the Banyankora around there are producing 5.3 metric tons of bananas per hectare. But Dr. Muranga is producing 53 tons from the same hectare. So her production has gone up 10 times because of irrigation. And this is where the issue of interfering with the wetlands is a big mistake. People should leave the wetlands and we preserve the water there to irrigate the dry land. We are going to have much more production and use the wetlands in a better way, because the wetlands can be used for fish ponds on the edges. You put the fish pond at the edge, and the center of the swamp comes back and has the water, has the grass. That grass is good for mulching. You cut it and mulch and it grows again. Really, God loves Uganda so much. When you see how rich Uganda is, and you see how people are misusing the resources, you feel very sorry. So irrigation is our other strategic target. We shall have these group irrigations, but also encourage individual irrigation by using solar-powered pumps, which we are already producing with one company here. So once you do that, once we have these, the peace, the monetization, the full monetization of the economy, everybody to be involved in the money economy, electricity, which we already have, and we are expanding, the roads, which we already have, and we are expanding, Ojangole becoming irrelevant, because now she's a bit irrelevant, I think. The railway, irrigation, we shall have addressed. Now, the other issue, of course, is the market access, which will be partly addressed by the purchasing power. Because if we have more money in our people's hands, they will consume more within the country. Take textiles. In the villages, you find children fighting for one blanket. At night, they are fighting, Mama, the other one has taken the blanket from me. Because it is one blanket with 4 children inside. No bed sheets, no what. What sort of... I go around and I see the children without shoes. Up to now, you see children are going to school without shoes. I don't know why these school people don't encourage them to have at least rugabire, the other tire sandals. They are much better than just walking on bare feet. So all that purchasing power, the shoes, the textiles, the food, the market is there, but it is suppressed the demand because they don't have the money to buy. Then you have, but in the case of northern Uganda, the other strategic issue is bad politics. Because you are unfortunate to have bad leaders. Ogenga Latigo is one of the few exceptions. He's in the wrong camp, and I don't know why. You know, he doesn't know that with his father-in-law, Gino Obonyo, we were in DP together. He doesn't know that I was a very big DP. I was with Gino Obonyo, with Benny Chwanuka, with Alex Latim, Boniface Vyanyima, who were in DP. I was a very strong DP youth, but I saw the limitations of DP. And I said, please, this DP can't solve the problems of Uganda. So these ones, the Ogenga Latigos and Mao and all of those people, they are in DP. You cannot have a DP without Museveni. Without Museveni, there is no DP. Because I was from 1960 to 1970, I joined the UPC for 5 months. I joined the UPC in September. I went, no, not August, September. This gentleman, Otim Oriem, was manning UPC office. I think on the way to Entebbe Road, on the left here. I went there and I picked UPC cards and I took them to my area. So, okay, let's support the UPC and see what happens. Then the UPC collapsed by themselves. So that's why we had to start a new force. So therefore, you really need to have some cadres who come up. Because you talk of war. Rural Triangle had a big problem of war. But if you go to some parts of the Rural Triangle now, they have recovered. The cattle corridor has fully recovered. And they don't have the same infrastructure like we have in the north. The other day, I took some of these ministers there, and we saw the dairy sector is doing very well there. Masaka town, all the buildings were destroyed in the war of 1979. Every building in Masaka was destroyed. So when you see Masaka, you don't even know that there was a war there. Mbarara. Not a single building remained standing. They were all blown up. But they have come back. So these fellows who confuse our people are really not good. I have taken some of the lessons, the ideas to train the young people, and so on. We shall take them up. Now, I'm very glad the North is taking to coffee. Recently, we were having some argument with some people, UCDA, a group called UCDA. They were trying to deceive people that without UCDA, there will be no coffee. That's not true. The coffee, the seedlings they are distributing are generated by our research institutions, Chituza and so on. The other time we used Operation Wealth Creation to distribute the seeds. We can now going to use different agents to distribute the coffee seedlings. Like for instance, I'm going to get my model farm in Bariregi to become a seed multiplying center. I can cover that area. I'm already doing it in Ixozi. I distributed all the coffee seedlings in Ixozi. around my place. And I can use the farm in Kitierera to do the same for Soga. I even have a farm in government farm, not my personal farm, in Arua. So we are going to distribute the seedlings. And our daughter, the wife of Kerumundo, if she can agree and we make a contract with us, she becomes my seed distributor. And I need to pay all my banya mewa. I have some banyas, I know. My PPS, I have some banya with that lady there. I want to help them to irrigate. Have you irrigated? When I was there, I was telling you about irrigation. Is that correct? I remember the banya. Now, don't use wrong data. Because I had my Mukunja, Binzika, and somebody else talking of prolonged drought in the north. Are you talking about my north or another north? In the north, there is no prolonged drought. I challenge anybody here to. Because I saw this when I was fighting in the war. From even Ngoma here, and part of Chiboga, Chiankwanzi, 1 degree north of the equator. It starts raining in March, and it continues with a small interruption of a few days up to end of December. Then you get the drought. The drought is from January, February in the north. Is that not correct? This is for the north and west Nile. But for Karamoja, that's why there is a prolonged drought. For them, they get. So, can somebody challenge? Let's conclude this. Because I'm a free information, free consultant. Is that correct or not correct? The rain months are from March, continuous, to end of December almost. So please remove it from your documents. If you want to say prolonged drought for Karamoja, but not for the north, not north central. Is my information correct? Yes. So which north are you talking about? My north or north of Khartoum? If you are talking about my north, I cannot accept because I am here, I would defend it. It is the only part of Uganda which has got 9 rain for 9 months out of 12. When I was fighting in some place somewhere, I was in Ugulu, and I was so worried because we wanted to start the fighting that it is going to start raining before, and we launched the work on the 9th of March, and very soon the rain started. So it was good that we had just launched. And when we were trying to do the work, some other place, the 18th of April, it had started raining badly. And when it rains, so there's no, correct that please. Don't waste your time with prolonged drought. There's no prolonged drought in the north. The drought is January, February, and a few days of March. Then it starts raining. But for Karamoja, it's another story. That's the one where you have got a prolonged drought. But even Karamoja, has got more rain than South Africa. Because the rain in Karamoja is 35 inches of rain. In Acholi, West Acholi, in Western Nile, it is 60 inches of rain. Yeah. But if you go to Zimbabwe, where there are big farms in Matebele land, they have 22 inches of rain. Here, Karamoja, where you say there's drought, to 35 inches of rain. I totally agree with mechanization. The Ministry of Agriculture should have these mechanization centers. They have been trying to fumble around to use cooperatives, but I don't know what the problem is. But to give credit to UPC, they had started some mechanization scheme after independence. And in 1967, when I bought that land at Rwachtura, I went to Mbarara and hired that tractor hire and came to open the land there. They came. I paid the money. So, if this method, we are going to discuss it, if these methods of cooperatives, what are not working, then we may have to have direct government control of these mechanization centers, maybe by zone, per zone, per zone, per zone. I would have to call some experts. When I call the people, PPS, when you call people, also call Professor Genga Latigo. He's a free expert. I will take advantage of him without paying him. Cost-free consultancy. Now, you touched on a good point. Disease control and pest control without chemicals. The research to concentrate on that. Because these chemicals are a problem. Yes, they help us to kill the disease, but they also go into the food chain. And I'm going to tell the researchers to really concentrate on that. We have already done well with the ticks. We have now got a tick-borne disease vaccine. No, an anti-tick vaccine. We have it now. We are going to launch it very soon. So that idea of having the other time when we remember the water hyphens, which had covered Lake Victoria and other lakes, Echido, what was being called Echido. We destroyed it with the insects, which we got from somewhere. They came and ate those floating plants. So we used biological methods to solve that problem of the water hyphens. And of course, the only thing you have to be careful was that the insects don't eat other things. But we had enough research had been done, I think in South America, that they only eat the water hyphens, not other things. Now, the 4 acres model is good for the small holders. That does not exclude the large-scale people. This is the medicine I designed for the areas where people have already fragmented land and they cannot economically farm using extensive agriculture methods. But even you are in the area of the north where some people say land, there's a lot of land, but when I fly around, that land is not so much. In some areas, yes, like the other day when I was coming from Karenga, I spent 50 minutes in the air, which is a long distance. That is about 100 air miles before hitting Dokolo. From Karenga to Dokolo, it took me 50 minutes by air. And the helicopter covers 2 miles per minute. So that's 100 miles, air mile, which is a big area. And you could see below that area, Adirang, Orilim, maybe Otuke, the population is not so much. But the other parts of Rango, the population is Kyoga, Amaratar. People, you see garden next to a garden, a garden next to a garden, you don't see spare land there. And even when I'm going to this Minakulu, those areas, people are the gardens are quite close. So that's why I say, you people, if you don't have a lot of personal land, go for the 4 acres model. But if you have got big land, do other things, because we need them. We need cotton, we need sugarcane, we need ranching, which need big land. So my advice was the people to register the big landowners like Ogenga Latigo and ask them to grow whatever the country wants. And you can register them. And you support them, and they do what you want, what the country needs, whether it is cotton or what. So, but the smaller people concentrate on their problem, which is poverty. These are the ones I encourage to use the 4 acres model and 7 activities. Now, I would like Ramadan Gobi to specifically support some of these people. Like because they keep, if there's like the Munyoro woman from Noya, the one of fruits, where is she? That one there, she's always there. She's a real cabaret girl. I want that woman to be supported, because she is now with the fruits, and then also cassava, ethanol. Are you the same? Well, that's another one. Then I have got my fat girl from Amuru, from Amuria, the Mteso girl. Where is she? Where is that girl? Don't run too quickly, you are too fat. Go slowly, come. Don't run too far. I don't want accident here. That one there. This one has been struggling with the cassava for I don't know how many years. I support her, my people support her, then a little bit, then. So that one, she's now making bread from cassava flour. I saw it there. So these are just some of these examples. When they come for these exhibitions, Yalama, go and sit. You see how strong she is? Then Archbishop Odama's project in Achoribur, we had the cassava there. So these few cases can be supported completely. Don't you know, there's what they call Muruganda Wachito Kumamira, sprinkling. sprinkling, you try to give small to everybody. Don't give small, even if you give 1 or 2 decisively and he succeeds, then he becomes an example to the others. They told me that in law they call it poro. How do you call it when you just sprinkle, small? Poro. Yes, we don't want poro. Do something, help one part. I've told you I am now a Christian. Imagine. I heard about it from the Middle East. And here I am a Christian. Because there was a success story by Jesus who rose from the dead, overcame death. That's how I am also looking forward to resurrection. So we don't have to have Jesus dying again here. No. He died and finished. Now we are benefiting from. So success of one person will encourage others. But when nobody succeeds, then that's how hopelessness comes. Hopelessness comes when nobody succeeds. Now, finally, what Omana was saying in his poem Nyankore, the politics of Abayugutsi. I was telling you, Omana, that don't waste time with people who are overfed, and they don't have any problems, and they are creating unnecessary problems. Concentrate on the poor people, the ones who have got need. That's what I was telling you. So I'm glad for this conference of the North. What we need are some successes by the individual farmers, big and small, and by a few manufacturers. That's what we need. That's how the dairy sector, that's what I did with the dairy sector in the cattle corridor this side. We had a few good farmers who became example to the others, and the others just copied. That's what I recommend for the North. And those need to be supported. We need to support a few so that they become example to the others. Thank you very much. Apoyo Mate.
Anthems. In reverse order, anthems.
Smart 24, driving business.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or a woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating